Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Today, inshallah, we'll start from Ayah 255 since we missed that Ayah last time. Uh, so we have one extra Ayah to do, and there are a couple of long Ayahs as well. So this lesson might take a little bit of time. So drink your coffee before listening. وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ. Again, as we mentioned, many of these Ayahs talking about in this set of Ayahs start with وَإِذْ. Oftentimes they're talking about blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave on Bani Israel. Here it's saying, وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا Musa, when you all said, meaning Bani Israel, referring to Bani Israel, when you, Bani Israel, said, O Musa, Ya Musa, لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكَ. Nu'min we kind of can figure out from the patterns we've discussed previously. Nu'min is we believe. And to refresh your memory, Lan is a type of negation, but it differs from la. There's la. La everyone knows here because we've seen it so many times. Lan is future negation. So it means will never. Will never. So now and never in the future. We will never believe. So when you said, O Musa, we will never believe laka to you. Again in English, perhaps it's translated as in you. We will never believe in you. Hatta until or until Nara Allah, we see. To refresh your memory, the root word of this root letters are Ra, Hamza, Ya. Ra, Hamza, Ya. Nara, just like Nu'min. When you start with the Noon, it's we in the present tense. Until we see Nara Allah, Allah. Until we see Allah jahratan, openly, plainly. So from the word jahara. Jahara can also mean loudly. So when you say that Fajr, Maghrib and Isha are Jahri Salah, means that they're open Salah, or you recite Jahar, versus Sir, secretly. So Jahar is openly. فَأَخَذَتْكُمْ. Big word, but you can break it down. Fa is the so. Akhadha, we know as grab. Ittakhadha is also to hold, but this akhadha is a more literal take, a more literal take or grab. Akhadhatkumus sa'iqa. So the sa'iqa grabbed you. Sa'iqa held you or snatched you. So we'll translate this as it snatched, feminine, you, all, masculine, obviously. As-sa'iqa, this is the subject. Remember, it's kind of confusing in Arabic because the verb can come before the subject or after the subject. So we have to look at the i'rab. Again, we'll discuss the i'rab, but just by context, one can also say whether this is applying to just it or whether you put this as a subject. When you translate as a sentence, so the sa'iqa snatched you, and sa'iqa is thunderbolt. If you can remember from the second ruku, thunderbolt. First few pages we had sa'iqa. So the sa'iqa, the thunderbolt, snatched you. Wa antum tanzurun, and you all look. Literally, and you all look. Nazar means look. Versus ra'a, we translate it as see. So tanzurun, it can also be you all are looking, because the ing form is the same as the present form, right? You all are looking, you all look. Both are same meaning. So the next ayah, ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاكُمْ, and we might be familiar with ba'atha. Ba'atha means to raise up, and also specifically to resurrect. So we raised you all in a general meaning. So anytime you see ba'atha, it could also mean we raised as a general meaning. Specifically, it can mean we resurrected. We resurrected you all. ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاكُمْ مِن بَعْدِ مَوْتِكُمْ, from after, or just after if you're translating as a sentence. Mautikum, your death. Maut is death, remember. La'allakum, so that you all may. We had this a few times in the past few lessons. Tashkurun, do shukr. Again, present tense. So that you all give thanks. Then we resurrected you all from after your death, so that you all give thanks. And most of these words we know already. Ba'athnakum is perhaps a new one. So ba'atha, we raise you from your surrounding, or resurrected you. Another way that ba'atha can be used, specifically in the raised, more general raised manner, و- لقد من الله على المؤمنين إذ بعث فيهم رسول. So a lot of times it comes as raise a messenger among a people. So raise you above your surrounding. You can kind of think that a messenger is more elevated in status than the other people surrounding. So we raised a messenger from among you. ثم بعثناكم, and here it's resurrected. We raised you from your surrounding as in the ground. ثم بعثناكم من بعد موتكم لعلكم تشكرون. So again, remember that it can be used as raising up a messenger or bringing forth a messenger from a people, because that'll come a few times definitely in your readings. Next ayah, ظللنا. This has a lot of cognates, false cognates, or homonyms as we call them, homophones. First of all, we learned zalla a few weeks back. Zalla means to slip, because we had azalla, to make somebody slip. فَأَزَلَّهُمَا الشَّيْطَانُ عَنْهَا فَأَخْرَجَهُمَا مِمَّا كَانَ فِيهِ. This is not zalla, this is ظَلَّلَ. ظَلَّلَ. ظَلَّلْنَا. So ظَلَّ is to shade, and ظَلَّلَ is to make shade, or just again shade. We shaded on you. وَظَلَّلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ. ظَلَّلْنَا عَلَيْكُمْ. Again, on you. Al-ghamam is the clouds. If you remember, I believe we had this, or maybe not actually. So the clouds is perhaps a new word. وَظَلَّلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْغَمَامَ وَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَنَّ وَالسَّلْوَى. And again, anzalna can mean reveal specifically, or it can just mean send down. In a general sense, it means send down. Here it's sent down, because it's not a book. أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَنَّ وَالسَّلْوَى. We sent, and anzala means from high to low. We sent down alaykum, on you, al-manna was-salwa. Al-manna here is something specific. It's a type of drink or food that the Bani Israel got, but it comes from the word manana, which means to favor. So it's this special manna came as a favor, and salwa is quail. You can remember this by the extra vowels that are matching, sort of. Quail, salwa, quail. Kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum. Kulu we have before from akala. This is a command verb, so that's why it looks a little bit different than other verbs. Kulu min tayyibati. Eat from tayyibat, the pure things. And again, this is feminine because of the alif ta. The way to make feminines plural is alif ta. Ma razaqnakum, what we have provided for you all. And this ma, keep in mind, because we'll be discussing this in grammar. Okay? Kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum. Eat from the tayyibat ma razaqnakum. And you'll be asked to figure out why ma is used here as opposed to other ism al-mawsula, al-asma al-mawsula. Okay, other relative pronouns. So what is this grammatical thing? We'll spend a little time talking about this. Kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum. Eat from the tayyibat what I have. Literally means what we have provided you. But you can kind of think that ma refers back to tayyibat. Ma is referring back to tayyibat. So it's to describe Kulu min tayyibat. Eat from the good things. What good things? If you need some more description, ma razaqnakum, what we have provided you all. So that's just a foreshadowing of the grammar lesson for this week, inshallah. Kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum wa ma zalamuna, and not zalamuna, they wronged us. They wronged us. So again, zalamu like this is they wronged. Then you add the na for us, zalamuna. Walakin kanu, but they were anfusahum, their themselves yazlimun. So basically they were wronging themselves. Anfusahum yazlimun. Again, this is kind of an example of the object coming before the verb. So again, the sequence of subject, verb, object in Arabic can be mixed around at will, and it still makes sense because you have the i'rab to guide you. The fatha, dhamma, kasra, those can show you which one is subject, which one is object. So again, this one is they wronged us, walakin, but kanu, they were. Again, remember this verb to be. They were anfusahum yazlimun, wronging themselves. Again, the ing and the present tense are interchangeable. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا ادْخُلُوا هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ. This ayah has a lot of new words, or words that we've only seen once or twice before. So again, وَإِذْ, it starts with وَإِذْ again, and when. قُلْنَا ادْخُلُوا, we said udkhulu, another command verb from dakhala. Dakhala means to enter. Udkhulu, enter is a command. Enter, and when we said enter hadhi al-qarya, this city. Al-qarya means city. It's kind of a synonym to Medina. Many people are familiar with Medina. Qarya is perhaps more of a small town kind of thing. Hadhi al-qarya. Fakulu minha, so eat. Again, we have the same word kulu with so. So eat from it. Haythu shi'tum. However you wish. You wished. Again, when paired with words like haythu, this becomes present in meaning. Present tense in meaning. This is grammatically past tense. Everyone hopefully can see that. But in meaning, it can mean also the current. So, fakulu minha haythu shi'tum. Ragadan, freely. We had this before also. Freely. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Adam and Hawa, eat freely from Jannah. Again, the same word is used, eat freely from this qarya. وَدْخُلُوا الْبَابَ سُجَّدًا, and enter al-bab, the door, meaning enter the door to the city, sujjadan, prostrated. So from the word sajada, it's the plural of sajid. It's one of the plurals of sajid. You can say sajidun, you can also say sujjada. So sujjada, one's enter this, literally it means enter the door as ones who prostrate. So there's a hidden as here, and that's given by the tanween fatha. Don't worry about it, but we'll cover it inshallah when we do i'rab in the future. But literally these are ones, masculine, who prostrate. Enter the door, prostrate, waqulu, and say, another command verb. Hitta. Hitta doesn't really have an English translation, but it's in tafsir. I encourage you to read the tafsir of this ayah in particular. It means forgiveness. So it's the word to Bani Israel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them, this is ask for forgiveness for all the stuff that you all the sins that you were doing, worshipping the calf, etc. So to absolve yourself, udkhulul bab, move away, enter the city, and say hitta. Enter the city prostrating, saying hitta. And if you do that, naghfir lakum, conditional, just a hint. Naghfir lakum khatayakum. If you do all this, we will forgive khatayakum, your shortcomings, your mistakes. So khati'ah is a singular. Let's write that here. Khati'ah, your mistakes. Everyone knows naghfir, we forgive. Again, this is in quotes, forgiveness. That's how you'll see it translated often, because it doesn't really have a translation. Waqulu, word to say, I don't have to write that again. Kulu, we already discussed. Haythu, again, specifically it means where, or wherever. wherever. منها حيث, wherever شئتم, you wished. وسنزيد المحسنين, from the root word زيادة, means to increase. سنزيد, we increase, and we increase. Okay, and we increase. Al-Muhsinin, the ones who, again the mu, ones who. Immediately, as soon as you see mim mutadamma on it, you translate ones who. The ones who do ihsan, or the ones who do excellence. You can, the ones who, let's see, what's a good way of translating this? Do excellence, maybe. We'll find a better way of translating it, inshallah. But basically, the ones who do ihsan. Okay, ones who do excellence. We, again, yeah, actually, that's a good point. Sa is will. Specifically, it's will. And we will increase the ones who do good. Because of the seen. Nazid by itself can also have a future meaning. With the seen, it's more specifically future. Again, this one of the difficulties of sujada is that you don't see that it's ones who very easily. It comes from the word sajid though. So you kind of have to remember that. So from sajid to sujada. Okay? Exactly. Second to last ayah, almost there. فَبَدَّلَ الَّذِينَ. Baddala means to exchange or to change. فَبَدَّلَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا. So الَّذِينَ, hint, this is also part of the grammar lesson. ظَلَمُوا, those who they wronged. So those who they wronged, or not those who they wronged, the people who wronged, they, what did they do? Baddala, they changed qawlan, the saying, غَيْرَ الَّذِي قِيلَ لَهُمْ, other than the one that was told to them. So what was told to them? Hitta was told to them. They changed it. And again in tafsir you'll see the different opinions on what they changed it to. But again they were being disrespectful. So they فَبَدَّلَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا قَوْلًا. Those who wronged changed the word غَيْرَ الَّذِي قِيلَ لَهُمْ to other than, and this is passive. It was told. It was said. It was said. So فَبَدَّلَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا قَوْلًا, the saying. This is a noun, saying. قَوْلًا غَيْرَ الَّذِي قِيلَ لَهُمْ, told to them. فَأَنزَلْنَا, so we sent on them, عَلَى الَّذِينَ, on those who ظَلَمُوا, they wronged. رِجْزًا. Rijz has a few different meanings. It could mean, it comes from the word rajaza, which means filth. وَالرُّجْزَ فَهْجُرْ. And so filth, leave it away. But rijz also means punish. It can also come as punishment. Punishment. So you'll see it translated as filthy punishment or some form of humiliating punishment. Rijzam minas sama, from the sky. Bima kanu yafsuqun, because of how they transgressed. Let me fill out these words. So he exchanged alladhina, those who. And we didn't cover this yet, but when you have a verbal sentence, we only covered jumla ismiya, but when you have jumla fi'liya, you always start with a singular verb, never a plural verb. فَبَدَّلَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا, again those who they wronged. فَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا رِجْزًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, from the sky. بِمَا كَانُوا يَفْسُقُونَ. يَفْسُقُونَ can be translated as they cross limits. Kind of like how a seed crosses its like germinal boundary. So that's where the word yafsuqun comes from. And the last ayah, وَإِذِ اسْتَسْقَى مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ. Again, وَإِذ. This kasra is not part of the word. It's just a helper vowel. Why do you need a helper vowel? Because you have a alif without a vowel. So, or rather you have the sin without a vowel before. So you can't have two sukoons right next to each other. This is sin with a sukoon. This has to take a kasra. وَإِذِ اسْتَسْقَى, and when Musa sought water. Okay, istasqa is to seek water. From the ista you can know it means to seek. So sought water. Musa sought water liqawmihi, for his people. Again, qawm is people. فَقُلْنَا, so we said, idrib, strike. We didn't have idrib for a while, so let me write that down. This is a command meaning strike. Strike. You masculine. Again, it's singular because talking to Musa. Idrib bi'asaka, with your staff. The root word is not very helpful because it only comes a few times in the Quran, but it's asa wa. Okay? Not asa ya, which is to disobey. Asa wa. So asaka, with your staff. And again, because the weak letter, it can change into multiple different letters, like we discussed. Bi'asaka al-hajar. Al-hajar is the stone or the rock. So the command to Musa is strike the rock with your staff. This is staff. With your staff. Fanfajarat. This is eruption. So infijar can be used for many different things. Volcanic eruption, the explosion from a bomb or fire, conflagration in a fire. So it erupted. Minhu, from it, meaning from al-hajar, from the stone. Ithnata ashrata aina, 12 springs. And again, I said we won't cover numbers for a while, but Ithnata ashar is 210, right? So we can, it's 12. Aina is springs, from the same root word that comes from I. Ain can also mean I. Ain also means spring. So 12 springs. And what is the, it's funny because infajarat has a ta. So you know the subject is feminine. So where is the subject? The subject is actually right here. Part of the 12. Part of the 12. Okay, and since we're not discussing numbers right now, we don't have to go into why that has to be the subject and not ayn, for example. And why is ayn singular after 12? All those are good questions, but questions that inshallah we'll discuss in a future grammar lesson on numbers. So inshallah that concludes the lesson for today. We had to do an extra ayah. Again, to summarize, the Bani Israel had to seek forgiveness for worshipping a calf. They said, we will never believe in you, O Musa, until we see Allah jahran. Till we see Allah plainly, jahratan. فَأَخَذَتْهُمُ الصَّاعِقَةُ. Then Sa'iqa snatched them, and then they were dead, basically. ثُمَّ بَعْثْنَاكُمْ. Basically, when you get hit by lightning, you die, usually. So, بَعْثْنَاكُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَوْتِكُمْ. We resurrected you after your death. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Then ظَلَّلْنَا. Then Allah favored them again. ظَلَّلْنَا عَلَيْكُمُ الْغَمَامِ. Shaded them with clouds. وَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهِ. And He sent on them manna and salwa. Then He commanded them, eat from this tayyibat, but they wronged themselves. And then we told them to enter the city and eat from the stuff in the city. And they changed the words of forgiveness. Allah told them to enter the city sujjadan, saying hitta. They changed those words and they were not prostrating. So, and Allah sent rijzan on them. What did He send? Rijzan. فَأَنزَلْنَا عَلَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا رِجْزًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. And then when Musa alayhi salam finds a new place for his people, for water, we have Asaq al-Hajar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Musa to strike the rock. Actually, we have some more of this ayah to finish. I don't know why I was doing the summary. There's a second part of the ayah. So after Musa strikes the rock, 12 springs come out. قَدْ عَلِمَ كُلُّ. Indeed. Qad means indeed. When paired with a past tense verb. Alima is past tense. So indeed, alima, he knew. Kullu unas, every people or every like tribe. So it means people, but it's more of a tribal designation. People in general can mean anybody, but unas is people as in one people, two people, three people, peoples. قَدْ عَلِمَ كُلُّ أُنَاسٍ. Every people knew. Again, we start with singular because it's a verbal sentence. مَشْرَبَهُمْ, their place of drink. Shariba means to drink. So this is place of drink. Just like masjid, sajada is to do sajda. Masjid, place of doing sajda, place of prostrating. Kulu washrabu, again we don't have to translate this again hopefully. Eat. Washrabu is drink. Command to drink from shariba. Drink mir rizqillahi, from the sustenance of Allah. This is an idafa. Wala ta'thaw, and do not commit evil. This is a rather rare word in the Quran, comes probably 5-6 times, and always it comes in the same form, ta'thaw. Commit evil, do not. It's a negative command. Wala ta'thaw. Fil ardi, in the earth, mufsidin, ones who spread mischief. Okay, just as we had this word before, but let me write it again. So again, to continue the summary, when finally they found a place to settle in, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed 12 springs to come from the rock. Every tribe knew which spring was theirs or which their place of drink. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again commands them. This is about third or fourth time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Kulu min tayyibati ma razaqnakum. Kulu washrabu min rizqillah. So eat and drink from the rizq of Allah. Wala ta'thaw fil ardi mufsidin. Do not commit evil fil ardi mufsidin. Again, there's a hidden as here. وَلَا تَعْثَوْا فِي الْأَرْضِ مُفْسِدِينَ. Do not wander committing evil on earth, mufsidin, as ones who commit or who spread mischief. I forgot the mischief. Okay. And we'll see again, Bani Israel, inshallah next week we'll see with the remaining ayahs. Again, they cause trouble for themselves. So inshallah that concludes the ayat. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.